And just when it seems like it's all coming together, shit like this happens. Great. Welcome back to Bad Attitude C10. Today we're going to go ahead and put the condenser in the dryer on the core support of our C10. And yeah, that truck will have AC. It's being built as a drag and drive truck, so it's going to see a lot of street time. So not only are we going to use the AC to keep my fat ass cool in the cab of the truck, we're also going to use it to keep the water code for our water to air intercooler. Stay tuned. Now guys, I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm an AC expert, because I'm not. So I spoke to a lot of people to get an idea of what to do when I started to put this system together. Now the condenser, I was pretty much informed to go with the biggest condenser I could get my hands on and it would fit. So what I basically did was I measured the hole in my core support and I went from there. So the one that I settled for turned out to where whenever you put it in the hole area it could be mounted where the radiator was, there was no way to get a fitting on it. So I was going to have to come up with some kind of standoff. So I found these little Z plates that are made for solar panels on Amazon, and I picked some up, and using a Sharpie I went on ahead and marked them. And I used the side rails on the condenser because there's so many holes, it would give me some adjustability to move it up and down, and hopefully that would deal with any future issues with, you know, stuff wanting to hit or clearancing and stuff like that. So let's get to it, and we're going to start by marking the hose, and we'll go over to the drill press. In addition to drilling 2 holes for the 1032 screws, I also enlarged the hose for some 1/4-20 isolator bushings, which had not came in, so I just used some rubber spacers for the initial setup. So I went on ahead and chucked a bit up for a 1/4-20 bolt, and I drilled the side out that would actually be mounted to the core support itself. And of course I added a little bit of oil here, and then we're just going to enlarge this hole and make sure it works. Now, once I found out that a 1/4-20 bolt had plenty of clearance to this, I went on ahead and grabbed the other 3 and ran through and drilled them out. And then once that was done, I would start, you know, drilling out the hose for the 1032 screws. Now, these 1032 machine screw holes, I'm going to start off with a pilot bit because there is not a hole already, and drill it, and then we'll slowly sneak up on the hose size, and once we find out what size it is, that's where to live. So I'm going to go ahead and time lapse this and get it going. So I had mentioned earlier that this AC system would not only be for the inside of the cab for me, but it would also be used to chill the water for the water to air intercooler. It's kind of a pretty unique setup, and it's called an inner chiller setup. If you want to learn more about it, you can find it online. But basically, instead of us having to put ice in a water box to keep the water cold, we'll use the Freon from our system to chill the water for the water to air intercooler. It's going to be pretty trick, and I've already pretty much accumulated everything to fab it up, and we're going to be doing a homemade version because I couldn't afford to buy one of them. So once I drilled the hose, I did find the bit that would allow the 1032 machine screws to fit through and clear, so I went on ahead and drilled out the other ones. So once our holes were drilled, we moved back over to the table, and I went on ahead and started assembling the brackets onto the condenser. And I used 1032 machine screws, and then a flat washer and a nylock nut. So guys, I went on ahead and I got a guesstimate on where to set this up originally, and that's where we're going to go ahead and mount it this first time. Now mind you, I was missing one of the brackets to my actual hood latch and stuff, so I had to wing it there, and I'm hoping where I put this is going to be pretty close, and if not, that's why we did use the side rails, is it would give us some adjustability. So bad thing is, worst case scenario, I might have to take this shit all right back off and do it again, but we'll find out, because it's one of them things, you know, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, because sometimes we end up putting stuff on, taking it off, putting stuff on, taking it back off. But hey, that's part of the mock-up procedure, and that's just getting your ducks in a row. So here we go. So with our brackets installed onto our condenser, I moved back over to the truck itself, and I started lining this out with the core support. So I'm going to put it almost as far down as I can, and then I'm going to mark the hose with the Sharpie, and I'm just going to drill the one side first, because like I mentioned, I'm going to put some rubber bushings in here. So I'm going to start with the pilot bit and then upsize it until I get it to the size I want, and then once I get it there, I'm going to install a 1/4-20 bolt with the flat washer. and then use the rubber isolator bushing, and then I'll have to at this time use a flat washer and a nut on the back, because the isolators I ordered were supposed to be here 2 days ago and they're still not here, but for mock-up this should get me close. So I'm going to go ahead and snug up this first side, and then I'm going to move over to the other side and repeat. So I'm going to mark the hose again with the Sharpie, and then I'll start with a small bit and I'll drill them out and sneak up on it. Now, the isolator bushings that will be put on during final assembly are actually a rubber bushing that has studs coming out on both sides. So once they get here and I install them to the core support, they will stay on the core support, but I can still remove the condenser with just removing nylock nuts on the outside. I wouldn't have to be able to work on both sides of the core support again. So with that in, I'm going to go ahead and snug up the hardware on this, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright guys, so once I got all the hardware snugged up, I went ahead and got a view, that way you can see how far out the fitting is, and that means now we can get the hose ends, onto them. So up next was our dryer, and the thing about our dryer was it came with this cheesy ass little clamp, and I was kind of like, man, that's metal to metal, and then it's going to be put up against the core support and have more metal. So I was thinking, hey, let's put like some of the adhesive foam insulation I have and trim it out, put it in there, and if nothing else, it'll, give it a soft thing around it to where it's got something holding it and it can't move around and scratch everything up. Well, that was in theory. Once I moved it over and tried to push the dryer on with the clamp up against the core support itself, it wouldn't go flush. So I removed the adhesive backing installation strip to where I can put it and it go flush now to the core support, and then I put the actual cushion just on the back side of the dryer, which you would think, hey, it's the same thickness, it's going to cause the same problem, but I was able to then get the clamp to get flush up against the core support. So hey, that's what I ended up doing. So I found the location I was going to do this, and I got my Sharpie out and I went on ahead and again marked the hose that I would need to drill. Now, one of these hoses was going to be on a part of the core support where it was double walled, so instead of being able to get the back side with the nut, I'd have to insert thread setters. So we're going to start out by drilling my holes. So once I enlarged the hose big enough to get a unibit in there, that's what I went with, and I drilled it out into the size it needed to get the thread setter in. So once I got it to that size, I then inserted the thread setter, and I got this little handy tool out, which is kind of cool, guys, and you just thread the setter onto it and get it flush, and then you'll push it into the hole. Now if you notice, when I put it in this first hole, I hold it with a backing wrench, and I just use my little nut driver and tighten it up, tighten it up, tighten it up. And when it gets snug, dude, that's where I stop, and then I just back it out. Now on the double walled hole, I had to get the drill bit back out and drill all the way through the second wall. That way it allowed my installer to go in. So here we go. We'll go ahead and tighten this one up with the nut driver and do this, rinse, repeat, cycle, same thing. Now, since we have the thread setters installed, I'm going to use 1/4 hardware, but I'm going to use a lock washer and then a flat washer, because there's not going to be a way to put a nylock nut on the back side of this. So I'm going to go ahead and install the little retaining clamp bracket, whatever you want to call it, and then snug this guy up, and we'll go from there. So there you guys go. There's you a look of it, and I figured, hey, well, I'm going to be the overachiever, and I'm going to go ahead and throw this grill back on and let y'all see what it looks like. So I was pretty confident in the location of my dryer and the spacing on the actual condenser itself. I just really didn't know about the height issue because I didn't have the bracket to where I could test it, my hood latch and everything. So that's one of the main concerns that I had, and that's why when I originally made this setup, I wanted it to be adjustable. So let me get this grill in, and then we'll do a little bit of, I guess you could say, measuring. So as you can see here, the dryer is pretty close to the grill, but hey, we got plenty of clearance and it is going to be fine. And as far as the condenser, we got clearance there, and there's plenty of space to get the hose ends or fittings on. And then we'll come on over here and you can see that it fills the hole pretty decent. And I'll probably paint those clamps black before we do final fitment. But Houston, we have a problem. Well, shit, you would know it. Just as soon as I knew I could not measure the up and down clearance and the hood latch because I didn't have the bracket, that's what came back and bit me in the ass. So lucky for me, I planned ahead and I had it to where we can adjust the height of this. And good news is my isolators came in. So I'm going to go ahead and start over and swap out these isolators and reposition these clamps, and we'll see what we have from there. So here we go. Well, guys, this is exactly why I look at things the way I do. And there's a lot of time people think I do stuff for overkill and stuff, but I'm kind of like, hey, sometimes if you plan ahead and prepare for the worst, it's something that will be beneficial. And I mean, sometimes you don't need to use what you put in as a safety mechanism, and others you do, but it's just part of doing stuff when you're actually, you know, fabricating or putting stuff on a vehicle that normally would not go there. So it's just part of it. And I mean, it does suck to have to rework and, you know, keep completely put the grill on, take it off, put it on, take it off, but you don't know until you do it. So it's just put in the work, and hopefully the outcome is what you need. And if not, you know, just keep going forward and don't give up. So I'm going to go ahead and time lapse this, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Now, guys, as I was putting this back on, I did notice that, you know, with the new oscillator bushings, that they didn't compress as much as the ones I used originally. So I might have to figure out a way to get this to where it countersinks back toward the hole a little better. But I do have a ridge on the bottom of the core support that doesn't allow that to happen. So I'm just going to have to pretty much do what I can do right now. And if I do get my clearance in as far as the up and down, I'll be golden. But I don't like how big of a gap this is going to have between the actual hole where the radiator is going to be on the opposite side, because I want all the air to be pulled through this. But here you go. I'd put the hood latch on, and it touches. I mean, a smidgen. It does touch, though. And I do not want any metal-to-metal contact with this condenser, and I don't have enough room to drop it down one more hole. So I'm going to wait until I get the bracket for this hood latch in to where I can go ahead and bolt everything up and get an actual true-to-goodness, you know, measurement. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.